What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at Beachcomber. I know, right? Sounds like fun. Now, the lovely folks over at Vector Sigma were the lovely folks who went and revealed this. And you know my rule by now, let's give love to the people doing these reveals. And I don't think I've been shy about saying that Vector Sigma is a brilliant website that is great for competitive Transformers content. Brilliant articles ever since they did that Dinobot one right at the beginning of the game. That's when they got me hooked. Do check them out. Lovely dudes. Great website. Give them some love. So Beachcomber then, it's a 6-star common. Does that mean we shouldn't be getting excited? I don't know. This one could be weird. Now we got a melee cast, so I'm in straight away. 6-star character, health of 10, attack of 3 or 4, defense of 1 or 2. Slightly lower stats than we'd like, but given that it's a 6-star, probably about what we would expect. Not amazing. However, do you know what the top card of your deck is? Because you see, Beachcomber has in bot mode Focus 1. Before flipping battle cards, you look at the top card of your deck and you may scrap it. Now this is battling, not attacking or defending, battling. So for argument's sake, if you're attacking and you see a blue icon, get rid of it. But if you're defending and you go, oh, handheld blaster, double blue icon, let's keep that bad boy on the top of the deck. Sounds like fun. Focus 1 can be incredibly useful. But then we go into alt mode, and this is a part of the card that could potentially be redonkadonk. Because when you flip to this mode, you name a card, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a named card, you draw 3 cards. Drawing 3 cards is ridiculous. Now, this always varies game by game, right? In the Pokemon trading card game, drawing 3 cards is a generic supporter reserved for a generic character. Nobody really cares, nobody gets excited, boo, hiss, etc. But in the Transformers trading card game, draw 3 cards is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, we've got one way to draw 3 cards, just straight draw 3, and it's Universal Network Access. And it's so good, it's a star card. Sonic Scramble can let you draw 3 cards. Just so long as you play 3 of them all in one go, then sure you can play 3 cards. And Backup Plan lets you draw 3 cards, just so long as you don't mind scrapping your entire hand first. Drawing 3 cards in this game is a little bit nuts good. So clearly what we really want to do here is make sure we know what the top card of our deck is. Because if we know what the top card of our deck is, then flipping over just lets you draw 3 cards, and that's ridiculous. Cool. Okay, so then the question becomes, how do we make sure we know what the top card of our deck is? Now, obviously, one of the easy ones here is just incoming transmission. Incoming transmission, you draw 2 cards, then you put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So you know what the card on top of your deck is, so then when you flip Beachcomber over into alt mode, you get to draw another 3 cards. That's kind of awesome. It also means it really doesn't matter what card you put on top of your deck with incoming transmission. You're going to draw that plus another 2, and you're going to end up 5 cards better off over incoming transmission and Beachcomber. And again, in every game this wouldn't be true, but 5 cards in Transformers is nuts good territory. Now there is another one which should spring to mind for an awful lot of you and did for me here. I don't know how good the synergy as a deck is generally, but Major Shockwave. You see, Major Shockwave has got a skill which is there in alt mode and in bot mode, which lets you look at the top card of your deck at any time. So clearly here you look at the top card of your deck, and then you flip Beachcomber over, you name the card that you know for a fact is on top of your deck, and you draw 3 cards. Might not work, because Major Shockwave is a specialist rather than a melee character, and a spaceship rather than a car, and a Decepticon rather than an Autobot. They don't have much in terms of synergy. Although, to be fair, Major Shockwave does let you draw a card when you flip to alt mode, and then your opponent chooses a card from their hand and scraps it. So maybe here we could be building up into some kind of giant hand deck. Now, Big problem here is that Shockwave is a 14-star character and Beachcomber is a 6-star character. That leaves you at 20 stars. So something like, let's go for Sunstorm from Wave 1. Attack equal to the number of cards in your hand. Sounds good. Yeah, there's no way you're going to be able to afford that with this pair of cards. You're talking an 11-star character. But there's nothing to stop you playing Sunstorm with Beachcomber and something else. Similarly, in Wave 2, we got a Bombshell, and Bombshell's really good because when you're attacking in bot mode, you can discard a number of cards from your hand equal to the star value of the defender, and then get an instant KO without any attack happening. So if you can build up a big enough hand, this can work, and clearly, if you keep using Beachcomber, this can work very nicely indeed. Just the other day, we had a lovely little look at Crankcase, and Crankcase is a lovely character whereby if you've got 5 or more cards in hand, then you get +3 attack, and that's pretty big, right? +3 attack is pretty gosh darned good. Puts you at 8 attack, and Crankcase is not an expensive character, it's a 7 cost. Now, for anyone that's wondering, yes, you can actually play Sunstorm and Crankcase and Beachcomber all in the same deck. It would give you a 7 plus a 6, which is 13, plus an 11, which is 24. You'd even have room for the Stratagem. Yeah, Beachcomber's got a Stratagem, but we'll get there in a minute. Don't worry about it. This can be a good card on its own. Drawing 3 cards is awesome. However, let's not go presuming here that you can just whack this into any deck whatsoever. Because if you don't name the correct card, it's vanilla in alt mode, you got focus 1 in bot mode and mediocre stats. That is not leading us towards some phenomenal character that we've just got to make a deck around. Nothing against Beachcomber, but you're getting the most value from this when you are in a position to really know what the top card of your deck is, where you are using something like Incoming Transmission, where you've got Major Shockwave. Of course, let's face it, when you're trying to draw lots of cards, nothing gets better than Daring Escape. Daring Escape, for each Autobot you have on the battlefield, you put the top card of your deck in your KO area face up. And then if your deck and scrap pile are empty, you win the game. I don't know that Major Shockwave and Beachcomber would make a ridiculous Daring Escape deck, but I do know that it's one that really tickles my fancy and makes me want to try it. Might work, might not. Certainly one that's made it onto my radar to have a little bit of a gander at. Kinda sounds like fun. Of course, the other thing you can do is just plan. If you want to stick with melee cards that were revealed by Vector Sigma, which is apparently a wider category than one might imagine, how about Windcharger? It's a melee card, and it was revealed by the lovely folks over at Vector Sigma. What's important here is that when you flip to bot mode, you plan 1. That is to say, you draw a card, and then plan 1, which is put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So the theory here is, you flick Windcharger into bot mode, right before you flip Beachcomber into alt mode, and then you know what the top card of your deck is going to be. We also see the same thing on Secret Dealings. And the benefit of Secret Dealings is that it does have a green icon, which means that if you flip it while attacking or defending, you can just swap it with a card in your hand, so you basically guarantee that you draw into it. Or, if you're not into melee cards that were revealed by Vector Sigma, how about Taurox? Taurox is another fairly cheap card. This is only actually a 5 cost. Plus, in alt mode, it turns off repairing for your opponent, so that could be kind of fun. And when you flip to bot mode, you draw a card and then plan 1. Taurox also has the benefit of not being a super rare, so maybe for a lot of people, Taurox might be a better option than Beachcomber. And it is a melee character, which is kind of cool, but it's not a car. And being a car is fun. Being a car means you've got access to Start Your Engines, which will flip all of your cars and then untap one, and Turbo Boosters, which just lets you untap one. But I'm especially thinking of Start Your Engines here, because of course we've looked at Beachcomber, and we've had a look at Windcharger, and they both rely on flipping. so having extra flipping would be good. Taurox is a cheaper version of Windcharger with a really nice skill that stops your opponent repairing, but it's not a car, and obviously because it's a 5-star it has naturally worse stats, but you should be expecting that because it's 2 stars cheaper. Hey ho, you've been warned. Now I did say there was a stratagem, and there is a stratagem. It costs a star, and then it lets you have 1 extra star of actions and 1 extra star of upgrades, which is nice, but it's not quite as nice as it sounds, and we've seen a couple of them like this. It doesn't really give you 2 extra stars, because you've got to pay a star to play it. Now don't get me wrong, it still gives you a pseudo 26 star deck, that's still really good. It still gives you more stars than you would have if you didn't play it. However, let's be clear, it's not quite the bonus you'd think it would be. And we've been going on for a bit in this video, and this is basically any star. Because star cards are either actions or upgrades, they're the only choices. You've either got actions or you've got upgrades. I suppose we've got stratagems now, but they don't really count in the same regard. So essentially, this means you can play any 2-star cards you like. Literally any 2-star cards. So it's kind of hard for me to sit here and maybe suggest which ones you should play. It can be literally anything. Now, it is 1 action and 1 upgrade, not 2 of one, none of the other. But it really depends what you're looking for. Maybe you go even the score and you get yourself another double orange. And if one of your Decepticons takes more than enough damage to be KO'd, you do the extra damage to the attacker. Clearly that would be in a Taurox build, that wouldn't be in an Autobot only build for fairly obvious reasons. Or maybe you could go for a bit of the old Heroic Resolve, which gives you a double blue. But it means that if one of your Autobots would be KO'd, it survives with 1 health instead. And if you're playing a more Autobot-focused deck, that could be a really good one to go for. Maybe you go for my personal favourite of Leap of Faith, which lets you essentially play the top 2 cards of your deck. Either way, it gives you options. It's not quite the cheat it looks like. It's essentially paying 1 star to get 2 stars. But let's be clear, it's still a good thing to do. I like Beachcomber. I don't know if I love Beachcomber, just as a general character, but if you are playing a deck which can use the alt mode ability, because I really do think it is the alt mode ability here, and you can take advantage of it, I think this could be a phenomenal card. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy. That's where we talk Transformers and a whole bunch of other games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus pods, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Especially now. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.